Okay. Hey. Check it out. That could only mean it's GMO Tuesday. Hang on, let's see if I can put this down without doing something stupid here and get it kind of aimed. But doing something kind of stupid. There's an oxymoron for you, huh? Foothill Feed and Mercantile. You need some non-GMO food, organic food for your critter. They got it. Check them out. They're 1330 Geiger grade, folks. 1330 Geiger grade. Hey, check. Oh boy, I don't know where I put my tablet. Check the links. In the description, ladies and gentlemen, a lot of links today. A lot of links. Of course, Sioux Falls joined 428 other cities march against Monsanto. You know how that is. You know how it is. And of course, march against Monsanto. It all started with moms. Moms wanting to know, how come my kid's getting sick, finding goofy crap in our food. Please tell me this. Please tell me how a mother who finds garbage in their food, ties it to their kid's illness, is a bad thing. Brings it to our attention. How are they a bad person? Who writes a book to discredit people like that? The Monsanto propaganda machine, yes it does. The genetic literacy program. Just look at who founded the Genetic Literacy Project. You have to take everything you say with a grain of salt, but in all fairness to the GMO industry. And I'll touch on that a little bit because I've had a lot of questions. And when I get done with this podcast, I'm going to have a huge email list because I have to email a bunch of people that have asked, what about the farmer's market where you are? I'll get to that before we get out of here today. But the Genetic Literacy Project, backed by, just all you got to do, Genetic Literacy Project, you Google them and it's going to tell you who put them together. It'll tell you who put them together, but you got to take everything with a grain of salt. But in all fairness to the GMO industry, Nick, 4-part series, pesticide use on organic farms. Don't ask me why an organic farm would have to be so big they would have to use a pesticide and an herbicide. I remember having a small 50-acre ranch in the Cupertino Hills. My family did, and it was a sustainable program. They had grapes and a little lemon grove and cherry trees and lots of stuff, but they supplied a lot of stuff for the neighbors in the neighborhood. Chickens, pigs were another thing. And hey, people swapped the cows and stuff around. That's how it was done back then. I guess now we got to have 5 million acres of corn in Kansas so we can grow corn for the hungry people in South Africa that never seem to get the corn because they're still hungry and it looks like they got a rice kernel stuck in their neck. Oh, but hey, we're going to feed the hungry people. And don't forget, we're going to use less of this. My $6 billion a year chemical. Yeah. Whom do your elected officials represent? You got to ask. We'll get to that in a minute, too. Are we suing the right people here? Are we suing the right people, Mr. Gambrell? You'll know what I'm talking about. Hey, from the university, you're going to love it, Dr. Anna, oh man, how do I say her name? Dr. Anna Katarina Souza, University of Aveiro. Don't ask me how that happened, ladies and gentlemen. My surname goes a long way back in the history of the country of Portugal. I don't know what to say. What's your badge of honor, Nick? Beira Interior in Portugal. It's universities. They have been studying chemicals and their effects on the body and different things, and it seems that we have all these chemicals have infiltrated life to make things easy, to make things safer, quote unquote. But are they? I mean, and this is a study that looks at things like the pesticide, herbicide. It's an exposure study, not, can I go slather my land 50 times a year with glyphosate and will it be good? This is an exposure to human cells. Pesticides, plastic, herbicides, flame retardants, repellent clothing and coatings on clothes. Think about that for a minute. And different artificial sweeteners, of course. What is that? Aspartame. Let's not forget saccharin. Saccharin, the first recorded chemical in the food supply. Coca-Cola buys it from Monsanto and puts it in their Coke. And how can we forget the infamous high fructose corn squeezing, syrup, that they're changing the name because it really isn't corn syrup. They put some weird chemicals on the stock and press it, so it's really corn squeezins. Not the kind Granny did, but corn squeezins, folks. Corn squeezins nonetheless. But the study is how chemicals have infiltrated our life. And let's be real, we're never going to get chemicals out of our lifestyle. We become too dependent on them. It's just a fact of life. But do we need them in our food? I don't think we need them in the food. I could be wrong about that too. Maybe we do. I don't know. But I just, when I see how ill people have gotten and some of the illnesses, some of the ailments with their body, and it's directly when you talk about digestive issues, breathing issues. You can't tell me you can't make the correlation is not causation argument with me. I just don't. I'm not buying it. I think it's a propaganda is what it is. The Monsanto propaganda machine. That's one of their things. There, June. What is it on? June 18th, Monsanto goes to trial, folks. June 18th. Tune in, because it's going to get good. There's a statement in the description. Where did I put? I don't know where I put. Let me see. Maybe I have it back here. Nope, that's not it. I thought I had another device with me so I could read a statement from the judge. But basically, a judge has stipulated on the record that they denied a motion and basically said, no, you have been deceiving the public on the hazards of glyphosate for many years. You knew a long time ago it was a carcinogen. We'll see how it plays out, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see how it plays out. Milk does a body good. Is it a lie? Or does it do a body good? Check the G Plus page, folks. There's an article pinned right on top about milk and Monsanto's BHD, or whatever the bovine growth hormone is, BGH. Yeah, buddy, man. Bovine growth hormone. So they can just keep a cow on a machine producing milk. I don't know if you've ever seen one of them kind of dairies, folks. It's one of the grossest things you'll ever going to see in your life. But you got to ask, why has the industry attacked the people who want to do whole milk, the people who want to sell whole milk? Why is the pasteurization end of the dairy industry attacking those 1-2% of the dairy farmers that want to sell whole milk? People want to buy whole milk. They don't want to pasteurize. Is milk good for you, period? Who knows? That's something only you can tell. But here's what I want to talk to folks about. This is what I really want to get into today. There seems to be a new lawsuit against Monsanto and a chemical company every week. Every week we get a new lawsuit going on. A new ambulance chaser is advertising, hey, did you get a bloody nose in 1939 from the airplane flying over Nebraska at 3 o'clock in the morning? And, some ambulance chaser is going to come and they want to do some stuff. But I got to ask, and I want everybody to just take a deep breath back, because this is one of the most divisive issues out there right now, our food. They're saying it's okay. They got a whole propaganda game saying it is. They got a bunch of shills that they've paid off that say it is. And then the reality is we got a bunch of sick people over here that can't afford insurance premiums to deal with their physical ailments. All why the chemical companies are bagging billions of dollars. Has anybody ever asked themselves how somebody who makes $175,000 a year can leave in 10 years with millions of dollars in assets? Some pretty serious investing. Oh, wait a minute. We pay for everything they do. They don't pay for food. They don't pay for housing. They don't pay for transportation, mail, nothing. You and I, folks, you and I, ladies and gentlemen, we pay for it all. Such is the nature of politics and the perks they've given themselves. And oh, by the way, how about all the money they get for steering legislation in the right direction? Monsanto's notorious for this. 15,000 to Debbie. Let me stab my constituents in the back, stabbing them now. And we get to read a QR code that takes us to a fancy propaganda site. That's what it is. It's propaganda. The humidity, folks, I am telling you, man, the humidity is just working me to death here. I have never experienced humidity on this level, and it is a culture shock, I'll tell you. But what I want to know, we got all these things going on. We have agencies that are signing off. The judge said 4 years, and it appears that 4 years you have been hiding information about the chemical and its carcinogen effect. Think about that for a minute. How has this been allowed to happen? Let that sink in. Whom do your elected officials represent? I'm going to ask it again. Whom do your elected officials represent? How has Monsanto been allowed carte blanche in our food supply? Whom do your elected officials represent? Follow the money. I'm telling you, because they're not representing you, they're not representing me, they're not representing any one of the American people that you talk to and walk by every day of the life down the street. They represent whomever sticks money in their coffers. Are we suing the wrong entities? Should we be suing the FDA, the USDA, and the EPA? Should we be suing those administrators? And should we be going after our elected officials? Oh, they have immunity? What's that you say? Back that Jeep up. There is something called personal capacity, and people in the property preservation industry, if you follow me, you know I've been beating that drum for a little while, and you know it's starting to bite people in the butt over there. Personal capacity stipulates, if you have a little common sense, you know that's wrong. You know that's not right. So when Michael Taylor wrote that very eloquently crafted statement, substantially equivalent, and Dan, I can't spell potato quail, delivered it to the American people and green-lighted the poison in your food today while your kids are getting sick, are we suing the wrong entities and the wrong people? Let's be real for just a minute. Monsanto, what do, man? Hey, they make stuff. They sell. They're a business. They make stuff. They sell stuff. And such is the nature of capitalism. You can only get so big. You can only buy so much up. And then you have the company, and boom, we got Bayer and Monsanto. They want to do the Bromaster thing and whatever they're going to do. Who knows? We don't know how that's going to play out. I pray. I ask the Maker every day to put a finger in between that mess so it doesn't get hooked up. Just stop, please, because that'll be a nightmare. But we go out and we sue these people. Why? I believe they're being legitimately sued for lying to the people on the glyphosate issue. But shouldn't we be holding somebody else accountable? How did Monsanto, how were they allowed just to do all this? They didn't just do it. We have the FDA, the USDA, and the EPA that are supposed to be protecting the food supply, the land, the air, the water. And what are they doing? They're green-lighting poisons into the ground, the air, the food, the water, for pecuniary greed. Somebody's getting their pockets lined at your health expense. That's all I'm saying. Are we suing the wrong people? Should we, the people, via these 501c3s, Center for Food Safety, Organic Consumers Association, Zen Honeycuts, Moms Across America, should we be going after the people directly responsible? It's not Monsanto that's responsible. It's our elected officials. Let me ask you again, whom do your elected officials represent? Whom do your elected officials represent? I'll tell you what, if you go ask MDG Blogger, I'll bet she'll tell you, not me. I'll bet Paula Mayer, the drop-dead gorgeous Paula Mayer over there in Cincinnati, Ohio, I bet she'll say, not me. They don't. They're representing other people. They all want to talk a good game. We already know that Debbie Stabenow stabbing them now. We already know how the people here, what is it, Mark Amaday, he's a traitor. He didn't vote for his constituents. He voted on the side of Monsanto and big business. They're there to represent our interests, to provide law and legislation that we deem fit to live by. We deem fit, we want to know what's in our food, and we've asked for labeling. I think it's time to vote everybody out that don't want to give us what we want and vote the people in that are going to take care of business. It's time to flip Washington, D.C., drain the swamp. I think that's what they're calling it. I just get rid of the idiots and put some people that are going to use some common sense in there. Is there such a thing? Is that an oxymoron? Common sense using politician? Or is that just that's probably something I'd find on Fantasy Island with Mr. Rourke and the little guy, right? The plane! You remember that show? Yeah, that's probably something I'd have to go find on that place, huh? The marketplace. The marketplace. I want you to think about it. The marketplace. Purchasing power. I said this 4 years ago when I started covering the Food Network Food Revolution Summit. The Food Revolution Summit. When I started covering that, and it's put on every year by the Food Revolution Network. John and John and Ocean Robbins, I think it is. But the marketplace, consumer power. That's what's going to, in the end, it's not going to be the starving kid in Africa or some third world country. It's not going to be the farmer that's too lazy to go pull the frickin' weed. It's not going to be that guy that decides this for us. It's not going to be some idiot that is elected to an office that gives himself a raise whenever they want, and oh, by the way, they get free medical insurance for the rest of their life. Shh. Don't tell anybody about that. Why, you can't pay for Obamacare. It's not going to be them that decides this issue. It's going to be me. It's going to be you. It's going to be the schmo that claims all this stuff is good and bad. It's going to be the people who go to the store and buy products. They got products that are set up to last forever on those shelves. Can they really last forever? I don't have Wilcox Organic with me, but I checked on them yesterday and they're still good. We saw one the other day, and because of Wilcox Organic, the person I was with would not buy the boiled egg in a sealed up polyurethane pouch. Sorry, Hormel. I don't know what to tell you, but Wilcox Organic, they're still going strong. Got them out there. I've had them for like almost 2 years now. 2 years. That's what I'm talking about. This this is a tough one because I got to try to be diplomatic and not hurt anybody's feelings, but there's kind of no way to, when you call a spade, sometimes that's the way it goes. Many of you have asked what's happening with the farmers market coverage in the area. You said you were going to cover it. And I even told some of the local vendors and stuff here that I would be plugging them. To all the local vendors, if you would still like your stuff in the events you attend listed on our website, I do not charge for that. I do not charge for farm ranching, to list farm ranching events in your community. That is a free page to all the farmers and all the ranchers. Whether you're a GMO farmer or not, you're a farmer, you're a rancher. I was told I cannot cover or promote or say anything about the local spring market manager, Kaylee, said, no, you're too anti-GMO. I didn't debate this with her or anything. She said about 10% of our participants are GMO people. And I was like, well, okay. So here once again, ladies and gentlemen, 10% of something is dictating to the 90% that are organic farmers, that want organic food, that want wholesome food. Remember, it's 90% of the people want labeling, proper food labeling. It's the 10% that are offended by it that we don't get it. The 10% that are lining their pockets that we don't get it. Think about that. For those of you who do want, and I will be, it's like I said, I have a massive email list I'm going to have to put this out to. If you would like your company, if you're participating in the farmers market or farming and ranching events in the Springfield, Branson area, I don't care where you are. You could be in St. Louis, you can be in Chicago, you can be in Miami Beach. I don't care where you are. That page to the farmers and ranchers is a free listing. We will list you for free, and we can tell people where the events are going to be. However, the farmers market, the market manager, because I am too anti-GMO. Obviously, I guess she just has not really paid attention, because I'm not anti-GMO. I'm just anti how they're using that technology. Big difference. Anyways, that's the situation with that, ladies and gentlemen. I do appreciate all the inquiries. I really do. I just didn't know how to go about saying it, so hopefully that didn't come out too bad and nobody gets their feelings hurt. But that's what's going on. I've been asked not to promote the local market in the Springfield, Branson area, so I won't be promoting that market. However, if the farmers, ranchers, participants of those markets would like to be listed, give me a holler. I'll list you guys on the market page on the farm and ranching events in the community area. I always do that, and I'm actually working with people. If you are in other states, we'll get something together. I'm working with somebody on the back end of the website to help develop that. Hey, if you like what you hear, give us a thumbs up. If subscribe to the station, picked a couple new guys up this week. Thank you very large. Certainly appreciate it. If you can help out, help keep the lights on. Hey, you can see where we are, man. I'm out in the woods, out in the woods. Out in the woods. That's the end of the road right behind me there. See them rocks? Right back there. That's the end of the road. End of the road, end of the road, end of the road. That's what we're doing, ladies and gentlemen. If you can help out, hit the website, give us a donation, and look for another slideshow, The Project. You're going to love it. It's coming along really good. Got some great photographs for it. Let's have a great day, ladies and gentlemen. Let's all be safe out there.